Yes. Welcome back to We Are the South Stand. Thank you to everyone that is here, everyone that was just over with me on LB's channel, anyone that is just a regular on this channel. It is We Are the South Stand, ran by myself and Big Steve, and it is match day. Please make sure you smash the like button, subscribing, all that good stuff. Sorry, I haven't had lunch yet, so. But it is a big day for us as Manchester City fans. Kevin De Bruyne's last ever game for Manchester City. Sorry, Kevin De Bruyne's last ever home game for Manchester City. Let's see this straight away. Ed's in with some news. Confirmed Rodri has been cleared to return to action for Manchester City and could feature versus Bournemouth tonight. Right, straight away, everyone in the chat, what are we having? You starting him? If he's been cleared, we have to remember Pep has come out and said that he will not start until he is given the green light. Now, this confirms he has been given the green light. That means he is match fit. Sorry, that means he's fit to play. That does not necessarily mean he's match fit because, listen, match fitness will come with time. But what are we saying? Good news, is anyone starting him? Anyone at all starting him? Reminder, probably key thing to point out here is Kovacic is injured, right? So we are not going to have Kovacic. With that being said, would you start Rodri? Anyone? Would you start Gonzalez? Rodri or Gonzalez? Who would you rather see? Actually, that's a good question. Who would you rather see, Rodri or Gonzalez? And that's a rather see. Sorry, I'm just trying to do some quick artwork as well because I've had to fiddle about with the overlay slightly and I look a bit too big. So bear with me, people. I have also, for anyone in here, I've just posted a link. I'll post it again. If anyone wants to come on and have a chat with me right now, here is the link. There you go. I've just posted it. Your cameras must be on. But if any of you want to come in, join me on the show, have a quick chat. We can chat about anything from our transfer targets. We can also, I'd quite like to chat to some people about Kevin De Bruyne and their best memories of Kevin De Bruyne. So if any of you want to jump in, there is a link. Click on the link. You will be backstage with me. But please, I have to have the camera on. Otherwise, you might come on and do something mental. It has been done before. Right, so I think going through this, both would work. Yeah. For me, I'll be honest with you. I want to see lovely. Ed, camera back on, mate. There we go. Hello, mate. You are there.
Oh, okay, yeah. It doesn't show me there.
You will be there in a second. I've just got to find the overlay to add you. Bear with me. But how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm nervous / excited for today.
Yeah.
The Roger news is interesting. Pep will be the guy that will start him, but I wouldn't start him. But yeah,
I wouldn't start. Would you start Gonzalez though?
I've been wanting to start Gonzalez for a while, to be honest. But that's just Pep. I mean, yeah.
Go on, I'll tell you what, Ed. And by the way, Ed,
Ed,
you're always in the comments, so it's good to chat with you, by the way, because you're always in the comments. I've seen you about for a long time. So tell me, who would you start them today? Tell me your lineup.
I'll do Ederson. I will do Nunez, Diaz, Vardio, O'Reilly. Is Kovacic in doubt, or
from what I've just been told, he's injured.
He's out.
Pep said apparently yesterday he's injured, which for me is a massive loss, huge loss.
Okay, if he's out, but Raji's been training for like 2 months.
Yeah. Oh, you're trying to put Rodri in, aren't you?
This is the thing, man. This is like a must. This is like a must win.
Yeah, very much so.
So it's hard to leave him out if he's fit. Fit. I would still go Nico. I would go Nico G. Gunnigan, Marmouche, and then up top I got Holland. On the right, I probably do Bernardo, and then on the left, I'll do Savio.
See, the mad thing is, right, you just said something there that's interesting. You said this is a must-win game and Rodri has been cleared. And I actually do remember back when Rodri first kind of started training again, everyone was saying, look, if he is cleared, he's fit, and if it's a must-win game, he must play.
Yeah.
We're now here, right? And even more so that we don't have our six. Kovacic has been our six, right? Without Rodri.
Yeah.
We don't have him. Rodri's been cleared, and it's a must-win game. So I would
That's
say
what I'm saying. That's
so when you're there going, do you know what, Rodri? It is one of those ones where, but the one thing I would say is I think it would be a lot of pressure on Pep. On Rodri to expect that. Look, he's been in training for 5 weeks, yeah, which is great, and obviously he's proven his fitness, but that match fitness only comes in playing competitive games, right?
yeah.
Because even in training, if you're on the ball, you've got a few more, even if it's a few more milliseconds, you've got a few more milliseconds on the ball because you know that one of your teammates is not going to come flying in with a crunching tackle. Whereas Rodri starts tonight, you know, Bournemouth still have something to play for. I just can't see him being able to get up to speed and finding the passing range with knowing that Bournemouth at any point could come in on him. I just for that
But
reason
yes,
I'll go
I'm glad to be
Gonzalez.
on too. I love the channel, by the way.
Appreciate.
The thing is that we've seen him on the sideline, so in expressive, wanting to be out there. Is he pushing to play?
I think he probably would be. Knowing Rodri, I think he probably would be, mate.
So Pep is in a tough position because you don't want to put Rodri in a bad situation, but at the same time, we know how important UCL football is for us next season.
Yeah, massive. Yeah.
So, but I mean, I would start Nico G, and then I would maybe bring him on for depending on how the game goes. But you need a DM in there,
We
especially
must
how
have
Bournemouth
Gonzalez.
play.
But do we think he starts Gonzalez? Or if we're being honest, do we think it's going to end up being Bernardo and Gundogan?
Well, I would just be hesitant for that because Bournemouth, I don't know, maybe teams have been changing for us, but Bournemouth doesn't usually sit back and play a low block. They press you. They're on
Yeah.
top of you. And I don't know if Bernardo and Gunnigan can handle that at this point, if
Nope,
I'm being
I
honest.
agree with you. I agree with you again. I don't think they can. Don't think they can.
So you have to have a TM in there, man. You just
Do you know?
have to.
But this is a thing that we've got ourselves to a position where, yeah, I hate to say it, but I just look back at that Southampton result and think, fucking hell, what were we doing, man? What were we doing?
Massive result, bro. That was a massive result against us, unfortunately.
Do you think if we beat Southampton, do you think the result against Palace would have been different as well?
Maybe just because maybe they would have been more confident, but at the same time, you expected a response from that Southampton game too.
Yeah,
A kick up the backside, right? So, and the effort level didn't really match that, if we're being honest.
yeah.
So you never know, man. You never know.
We've got someone else joining us as well. Stay there, Harsh. I'm just going to bring you in. Bear with me 1 second. Just... Hello, mate.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Uh, so it's
Nervous?
yeah. Actually, not nervous. Somehow I'm just feeling very confident about today's game. I think we might sneak out the result that we want.
Sneak.
Yeah.
Sneak. That's it. See, this is the mad thing, right? That when I'm speaking to anyone, that's how our confidence has gone as a fucking fan base. That it's business end of the city. I find what's happened the last two games so ironic that if we go back, I'm going to say probably about 10 games ago, maybe less, maybe 8, 9 games ago, right? Where we weren't sure if we were going to get Champions League football, but all of a sudden, Manchester City became the Manchester City that we know as far as business end of the season. We have an objective. All right, the objective was different. It wasn't to win the league, but the objective was getting the business done, was getting Champions League football.
Mm.
And we were nailed on. We were the one team that everyone was saying, do you know what? Just as it's got to the business end of the season, Manchester City know the objective and we're getting it done. And I find it so worrying that all of a sudden, the last two games at the business end of the season, we've gone and dropped the fucking ball. We've gone and we're the ones. We never dropped the ball. We've gone and dropped the ball, and I just worry. Like, I guess it's good tonight is at home because we look at our last two games, they're both away from the Etihad, right?
You know what the worrying sign for me? We're just passing the ball. We are afraid to we need to be more brave enough to keep the ball. Passing the ball. Right? We I know. They are. I know low block. They are. The main strategy against us for all the opponents. They are low block and they just defend. But for me, if you really need to, uh, what do I say? Uh, uh, to clear the low block,
Yeah, to close the
Erling
low
needs
block.
to, yeah, Erling needs to, dip down, and it will create the more opportunities for our wingers and our midfielders to sneak through.
Do you know what? This comment, Joel, spot on. I was about to say, with what you're saying, I think this is the most frustrating thing that all three of us would agree it. I think everyone in the comments would agree with you that we're struggling to break down low blocks. But that's where, for me, we've always faced low blocks. That's where when Ruben Diaz came out and said about we can't believe how Southampton played. But why can't you believe that's how Southampton played? That's how teams have played against us for 6, 7, 8 years, right? So why would we ever be surprised that a team is going to play a low block against us, especially a team like Southampton? What do we think Southampton are going to do, right? But that's where, and moving on from what you said to this comment, that is Pep not telling these players move the ball faster, move the fucking
Yeah.
ball faster, get the ball forward quicker. It frustrates me, and this isn't just on City. This is on watching anyone play football. When you watch a game of football and you see the passing very slow and methodical, right? You often see teams struggling to break teams down. The minute the speed picks up, all of a sudden, you seem to be finding pockets of space. And that's where I do think we missed. That was what David Silva was a genius at doing. David Silva. And I hate to say it, Rodri is pretty damn good at changing the pace of the game as well. Rodri knows how to sit there and I think Rodri's spoken it a season or two ago about his job is to if something breaks down on the right hand side, his job is to get something going again on the other side as quickly as possible. And I think we're missing that so much this season. But that's where I think Gonzalez comes in. I think Gonzalez
Yeah.
is good at moving the ball about. Got another.
I'm actually shocked. I'm actually shocked that Pep didn't play Gonzalez for last I don't know how many games. You can't play a game without a holding midfielder. It's a crucial position for any team. You
Yeah,
have to play.
Yep, agreed. So, sorry, 2 more backstage. Dash, if I'm going to bring you lot in shortly. I just need to change the layout slightly. People, make sure you're running up the like button. This one, I believe, will be better. Right, I need a 5 layout. Bear with me, people.
I have about the transfer window. What I was thinking was, World Steel is off likely right now, as of now. Okay, so let's get Xavi Simons. I'm just assuming Xavi Simons, Carlos Baleba, because we need Rodri's backup. Because Gonzalez is a 8 who can play as a 6 as well,
Yeah.
right? So if we get Baleba and Reinders, it will be a solid midfield. And number 10, I think Xavi Simons can play that role.
What you think? Do you think? I haven't seen us be linked with Xavi Simons once, though. Really, not. I mean, you see little links, but not significant links. I don't know if we're going to go in for him. Do
Well,
you?
we actually been linked to him for like the last time we were linked to him, I believe, was in April, March.
Yeah.
So I think he's an option there. I mean, of course, Verse would be your number 1 option if you had a chance to choose out of the attacking mids.
I
But
don't think that's happening now, is
Yeah.
it?
yeah, no. So I mean, I think we do need another playmaker because I feel like you just put a lot of pressure on Foden to have an amazing year next year, for Bob to come back hit the ground running, for Echeverry to take that next step. There's a lot of if there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Do you trust Echeverry to fail next season? You know what I mean? But can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you all
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, Pep, you just like, I mean, I want to ask you guys, like, do you trust Bob and Echeverry for next season? Like, for starting for on our lineup for next season, if they both fit.
I've been saying, I've been saying about Echeverry, sorry, about Bob in particular. Look, Bob. Right, Nico O'Reilly has played more minutes this season than Bob did last season. Okay.
Yeah, but
So,
it's hard to say, to be fair.
so with Bob, he showed glimpses last season of how good he could be, right? And by the way, for anyone that watches more of the academy than me, my bad. I don't watch much of the academy. So I'm talking about for the first 11. We've seen flashes of what Bob could do last season. Then Bob in pre-season, brilliant, absolutely brilliant in pre-season, but it's still a very small sample size. Since then, he's had an almost season-long injury, right?
Yeah, broken leg.
Yeah.
We cannot be putting any, and the fact that since he's come back, he's had further injuries. We cannot be pinning anything on Oscar Bob at this point, right? Bob needs to be given time to recover. And not just physically, mentally as well. It's very important. So we can't put it on him. And same with Echeverry. Echeverry's a young kid. Great start, but these two, same with, I saw someone say before, our whole season cannot rest on Rodri coming in tonight. You're right. We can't rest our future on Echeverry and Bob. Like,
that's where I think I agree with LB. Echeverry should have played before FA Cup, at least 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. Because if we get some time of seeing Echeverry, we get the idea how could he play, and if we can set our plans in the transfer market around him. If he plays good, yeah, then no need to worry. Yeah,
Around
he
who?
can.
Around who?
He can. Sorry.
No, around who? Around who? Like build around who? Like the formation,
Yeah.
like it's around, yeah.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
around, I think he's
so-
been around Echeverry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think he should have played a little bit earlier.
I would agree with you because right. So if I was to say who I'd start tonight, I mean, I'm not Pep, by the way, at all. Because for me,
No, it's
I
hard
think
to
I said-
hard to guess this man. It's hard to
you
guess.
can't, well, we really can't because anything could be pulled out of anywhere, right? For me personally, I want to see Gonzalez start and I want to see Jack Grealish start, right? For me personally, right? It won't happen. I know it won't happen. But, and then I'm not going to lie, with what you just said there, if we'd seen more of Echeverri this season, maybe I would be starting Echeverri today. Because maybe that is what we need. I don't know. I'm more worried. I feel very nervous going into tonight because I kind of accepted after Saturday that we may well not get Champions League football.
But
And
Nunes had to start. Nunes had to
oh,
start.
Nunes,
Crossing,
100%.
the crossing on Nunes, it's hard to say, like Nunes crossing, is the only person to find Haaland and Marmoush. The cross, in the box, you know what I mean.
Daps.
Yeah.
Just to offer some viewpoints on this, I've been listening for the past 10 minutes. With Echeverri, I think people forget one thing about him is that I think it's a sub-20 tournament. That's what it's called. Back in January time-ish, he was injured. I think in the game against, I think it was Venezuela or Colombia, he was playing injured. And when he came to City, they basically told him, all right, mate, you have a bit of a long injury. You can train with the first team, but we're not going to give you much minutes. Now, surprisingly, the other day, he played some 20-minute cameo against, obviously, Palace.
Yeah.
My question is, was he meant to save him for the Club World Cup? Because I feel like as if that was a last-ditch attempt from Pep. And it's a bit cowardly, if you will admit. It's a bit cowardly for him to do that, but I've always thought he was done. Yeah, because he never tried him before. That's the thing. So why are you trying him now in that crucial moment? Because you don't know what's going to be like. Now, thank God, he was actually proper mint for the 20-minute cameo, head and shoulders above everyone else on the pitch. But for me, that's not how you do players. Go on, Ed.
I understand that, but honestly, if we look at that bench, who else do you have any level of confidence in to come in?
Like I said earlier, Grealish, because he can pull 2 or 3 players, drag towards him, pop up a pass, mate. And then they'll create a lot more space from Haaland or Mamouche. Obviously, by then Mamouche was subbed off. But that's the thing with Grealish. He's how do I say? He looks boring. Let's just say that. In a Pep system, he looks boring.
Who?
But he's very impactful. Grealish. But he looks impactful.
I just think he's done, bro.
He's done. Yeah, he's done. But he's not.
I don't disagree that he's done. I think when you say Jack Grealish looks boring, he looks boring on the left. I would agree with you. I wouldn't be playing him on the left tonight. I'd be playing him through the middle.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, impactful. He's very impactful.
Yeah,
and that's the thing we need. We
just won't.
I know. Yeah. We never know.
Right. So let's talk about the legend tonight. Actually, let me ask you all, Ed. What's your best memory of De Bruyne?
Oh man, there's been so many. You got the assist, I believe, to was it Sterling or was it Sané?
Sané spoke.
Yeah, that pass was just unbelievable. But I mean, that one against the Bernabeu, that screamer, I think recently that's just in my mind. That's a big moment into our first ever Champions League. So I will say that one.
Jarvis, what about you?
Yeah, for me, I got the goals and assists. The goal is definitely on Newcastle. He scored a volley on that one in the Premier League. On assists, I think will be, if you're talking about nearly, the assist make Oscar Bob famous that one. That season, we win 4 in a row this season.
Yeah. What about you, Harsh?
2 moments for me. One, his assist for Gundogan against Aston Villa. Then the final day that we clinched the title, and the Real Madrid one. Man, what a strike! Oh my God.
Yeah. And what about you, Dash?
If you're talking about goals, that Russian Gladbach won in around 16, I thought that was very underrated, that goal, especially during that lockdown period. I don't think people put much emphasis on that. Remember that Carabao Cup final? Not final, sorry. Carabao Cup game against Liverpool, and he put down a nice slanted ball for Ake. I think it was to put that found in. I think that's underrated. So these two for me are the most underrated parts of De Bruyne. I don't think people talk about as much. But yeah, they're my favorite.
Yeah, I can't lie. I can't look past that. I can't. I do hear the Bernabeu one. I probably think the Bernabeu one because of the fact of it was treble season. For me, it's that Wolves game though. Them 4 goals against Wolves because if he didn't step up, it was 1-1, and I was thinking, do you know what, Liverpool could have this. Liverpool could actually fucking because I was at the game and when Wolves equalised to make it 1-1, I think probably around about the 25th minute. The whole stadium erupted, and I thought, "Fucking hell, we might not get out of here with 3 points," And the way De Bruyne just stepped up and fucking won us that game, yeah. And then you're right, the final home game against Villa, that assist as well, absolutely brilliant. But on that, are you lot starting De Bruyne?
No.
I think.
Yeah, I'm going to let you lot
think-
talk amongst yourselves for a minute because I just need to nip somewhere. But you lot amongst yourselves, would you start De Bruyne?
After the FA Cup final, I have a doubt on that one, to be fair. But without a defensive midfielder, yeah, you can't. You know the experience on the Champions League final already. Against Chelsea once, it's not working. So I hope Nico G will start, but on Pep, I don't know what he's thinking. It's doubtful, but yeah, it is what it is. What you guys think, though, to be fair?
Yeah, it depends on what you want today. Do you want the win or sentiment? If you want sentiment, start De Bruyne. That's fine. If you want to win, I don't think Kev is the one to start because we've got a feeling that maybe Bournemouth might open up because I think they got a chance of Europe if they win at the Etihad.
They gotta come out.
Yes, so they gotta come out. So maybe then you could put De Bruyne near Mamouche, maybe an Erling Haaland, which I think he'll start, but I don't want to start. But that's the only way I see Kev starting. But I don't see Kev starting today because the training clips earlier, he was doing some night training, like very light training. And that usually means that he's probably going to be on the bench and maybe come up for 20 minutes near to the end, depending on your circumstance. But yeah, you two, Harsh and Ed, go on.
No, I'm not starting Kevin De Bruyne today. I want to win this match because our transfer future lies on this game.
Yeah, I hear
For
that.
me, win is more important than sentiment.
Yes.
Yeah, I
agree.
agree. I just think with the game being only a couple days after the FA Cup final, and he played the whole game, to ask him to come because this is going to be a physical demanding game too. This is going to be
Bournemouth have some physical guys.
Yeah, so I see him coming off the bench, and I have Marmouche in the 10 for me.
Are you guys starting Erling Haaland?
Yes,
Are you guys-
he's the main guy, man. He has to start him. Everybody got to start him anyway. You know what I mean? No, he's the main guy.
But if we start him, are we one man down? Because if we can't create nothing for him, it's this system not for Haaland. To be very, very honest with you, we've got 2 wing backs or 4 backs that bum up forward, and we've got 2 inside the wingers that go into 8 or 10s. Now it has Doku and Savio. Doku can't do the 8 position as much because he can't tuck inside, which Pep says implicitly in his press conference. Savio can, but he's not mature enough, and that's the truth. And that's why we've been going on about this winger debate for a long time. But if you're really confident you can start Haaland and you can get something going for him, maybe get him to drop deep.
He needs to drop.
Yeah. That's the only way I can see it.
Like Harry Kane, being a striker, he dropped deep to grab the ball and then do the attack. When we play Spurs away in this season, Haaland dropped deep and grab the ball and then to Nico and then go to Doku.
Yeah.
That one we need that attack, but Haaland, he listened to the order, he just go in the box and they just don't do anything. The body language,
So
you just need to.
Well, I've just quickly got to give a massive shout to HSK. This is a second stream, so on LB's stream he did exactly the same thing. He dropped £100 in there. He's just dropped 100 in here, and this is just to give us some positivity. So everyone in the chat, put your W's up for this guy, man. Look, bro, massive thank you. Honestly, huge thank you. And we do need this positivity. I'm not going to lie to you as a City fan. I genuinely try and be as positive, and at times probably I am a bit too much of a happy clapper at times. But these last few weeks, right? Well, this season has been hard. This and after that FA Cup final, I am so deflated. Like
Depression.
it's hard because do you know what it is? I'm used to last season, the FA Cup final. So massive appreciation for that. And listen, we're going to try and be positive. By the way, if we beat Bournemouth, we're getting Champions League football. I think we've got that nailed on. I don't even think we've necessarily 4 points will guarantee it. But I think we beat Bournemouth. I think that'll be enough because I think some weird things are going to happen in maybe some of the other games as well. So, but massive thanks for that. But what really worried me after the FA Cup final, right, was just the fact that we could end this season with no Champions League football, with no trophy, and on Wednesday night we've got to watch them lot come up against fucking Spurs in a cup final because
that one. There's a who wins the Europa Trophy who got who didn't get sacked.
Spurs is going to win. There is no way in the world United is going to win this match. No chance.
But they're both
Zero.
number 9 or Richarlison and Højlund. They got a debate on that one, bro.
I just can't see Spurs win. I want Spurs to win it so badly. I just can't see
of course,
in any world Spurs winning this. I really can't.
Can you imagine though, Daps, like to beat United to win their first trophy would be amazing. Would be amazing.
Yeah, because guess what? On Saturday, fucking Palace beat us to win their first trophy.
And Newcastle, don't forget them.
First time Palace play Europa League.
Spurs had their number this season as well. Spurs had their number this season.
They have, and that's what makes it even more frustrating that when it matters, I have a feeling Spurs are going to bottle it.
Yeah.
Spurs never win the final. Never win the final till now.
But, right, so tonight, I wouldn't be starting Kev tonight, you know. I wouldn't.
No, not starting.
I think he looked a bit too drained against. It's a hard one because obviously sentiment. Fucking hell, he's one of our greatest, if not the greatest City player of all time. For me,
the age catch up on him.
It's caught up on him. It has. And we saw that. I also think, and do you know what? The back end of last season, I said this, right? I said that I felt this season we should not be using Kev too much because if we want Kev to be able to play for another season and so this season at a top level, the best way of doing that is to use him as a bit part player, right? And do you know what? The mad thing is the Newcastle game last season actually was a prime example. He didn't start that game. He came on as a substitute and he impacted the game. And that's something that Kev has been doing throughout his season, especially when he's been coming back from injuries. We've often used him as a sub. He's came on when the game's been stretched and he's won us games. For me tonight, that's where I'd be looking at De Bruyne tonight thinking, do you know what? We know that Bournemouth are going to be physical with us, but if we bring on if it gets to the point where we've got maybe 20, 25 minutes left, the game starts opening up, bring on Kevin De Bruyne then and let him cook. That's when he'll cook. I think if we start him, I don't know, man. I think what we saw in that Crystal Palace game, he hasn't got that every game anymore.
Oh, he's not a six. He's not a six.
No, sorry, I didn't mean that game. I meant, remember when we were 2-0 down and De Bruyne grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck? But we can't expect him to do that all the time. For me, bring him on as a sub. But then who are we starting in the middle then? So Gonzalez.
Wait, is Kovacic injured, right?
Kovacic is injured. Yeah. Someone said about using using the builder, but there's too many of us on here to use that. So I would go with. I want to see Haaland in the middle. I want to see Doku on the right, and I want to see Marmoush on the left.
That's fair.
I want to see
Yeah, I agree.
Nunes right back, O'Reilly left back. Then Nunes and O'Reilly can do what they've been doing recently, getting forward, assist, getting involved. I'd have Nico. I'd have obviously Vardy or Diaz centre back partnership. Then I would go with Gonzalez.
Don't forget the boy Bernardo, his favorite. It's hard to say. It's the truth, bro. It's the truth.
No, I'm gonna say probably. The mad thing is right. So I don't want to. I agree with. I agree. I don't want to see Savio there today. I'd probably go Gonzalez, Gundogan, McAtee.
I forgot about him.
Oh,
Nah, you know what? I hate to say it. Nah, do you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'd go with Gonzalez, Bernardo, Gundogan, or other way round. And I know people will say about Bernardo, but Bernardo has actually looked worse when he's playing on the wing. If we're
Yeah.
putting,
yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's not very good on the wing. Silva.
But let me ask you something, guys. Do you guys think that if Bournemouth does press us, maybe with Ederson, maybe we could just bypass the midfield and just try to go long?
yeah.
If they
But
organize,
then would you need Haaland for that then? Because he can go off, drop deep, go on a layoff with probably Mamouche, Doctor, whoever is on the wide spaces.
yeah,
Because
that's
Erling Haaland and Edison work together very well.
But the most frustrating point is like we got the momentum to the attack, and then when the ball to the Bernardo Silva, he just passed it back, ruined the momentum. You know what I mean? The momentum suddenly dropped. You know what I mean?
Do you know what? As well, people saying about starting Echeverri, I would be tempted to start him, right? But I think I'm with what Darsh said. Do you know what? We haven't, and Darsh and Harsh said, we haven't given him a chance, right? To now expect him to come in a game like this, nah. And as for Foden, nah, sorry, not for me. I've made
Foden is a hard situation.
I'll be a little bit more brave. I'll start Foden because he's a player of the season last year. Because this is the game that you need to step up, man. This is the crucial game. This is the game that winner takes all. This is the crucial game that you need to deliver. There is
You
no
want him on
hiding.
the middle. You want him on the middle.
Yeah, no, in the middle.
Okay.
I hear what you're saying, but there's been a lot of games, like I'll say as an example, the derby. I thought, you know what, Foden's always good in derbies. Let's start him in the derby. He was poor. I hate to say it, but I just feel like, yeah, right. I'm not saying we shouldn't be able to put pressure on Foden. The truth is, we should be able to put pressure on Foden. Right now, we should be able to say, Foden, fucking stand up, yeah? Because this is what you did last season. This is what you've done over the years. But the fact is, at this point, I don't have faith in this current Foden to put pressure on him. And I'm not defending him. That's shit from him.
Yeah.
But I just don't think. I think at this point, Foden's head is so far gone that he's not going to handle the pressure.
He should be on holiday, to be fair.
He's not going to handle
the
this
rest
pressure.
and then back on Club World Cup. You know what I mean? For me, go on a holiday, take a rest, and then back on the Club World Cup. Bro, his head is going on fishing. It's hard to say.
Let him go fishing. Let him go Grimsby and fish again. Yeah, facts.
Even I would not want to include him in the Club World Cup as well because let him the proper rest and come good next season.
I actually would take him just because if we are bringing in a lot of new players and you're going to want him to build chemistry with those players to have the best start into the new season because we're not going to have a preseason. So you're going to want to take him out there to, if he's not playing, at least he's behind the scenes, interacting with them, gelling with them,
100%
learning
agree with
about
that.
each other. So
Well-
I would take him.
So, people, just quickly, we're going to come back to that point. Nearly 170 of you in here. The likes are only at 93. If everyone could please just check you have hit that like button. If it isn't lit up, please light that up. Now, I'm with you on that. I think for me, at the moment, any game, and it's been like this for the last 10, 12 games, it's too much pressure for Foden. And again, no excuse, but we all know we've tried to play all season. We have tried to play Phil Foden into form, right? And it hasn't worked, right?
No, he's not
Right
coming
now-
back until he get the flight on to Germany. He's
I
not
actually
coming back
think
until Germany.
I think it's getting worse. I think the more we play him, the more we start him, the more he doesn't impact games, the more he gets subbed off, the worse it is impacting him. Now, for me, I'm with you, Ed. I think he 100% has to go to that Club World Cup. Now, I've heard Pep speaking about the Club World Cup, and he said that because of, the season we've had, the fact that, the Premier League aren't changing the date we have to be back for, the fact they're going to have a minimal pre-season, that although we are taking it seriously, he also is going there and saying to the players, look, no going out and getting smashed, but at the same time, have a good time. Treat this as your holiday a bit, right?
Yeah.
So I think, the players he should be going. I would imagine some of the players' families are going with them as well, right?
Sun's going to be out, summertime.
Yeah,
good
and
weather.
it should be. Hopefully, we're going to have some new signings in. We've got to treat this summer like a pre-season. We have to treat this like, you know what, we're rebuilding. Everyone has to be round each other, and Foden has to come back because at the start of next season, there can't be any excuses for Foden, right? He's getting a lot of time off, but starting next season, Foden does need to be back and firing. But I just think tonight too much. And when someone said, "Do I expect Foden to come on off the bench?" and no, I don't. If I'm being honest,
Come on off the bench to warm up.
I don't. When he came on against Palace, I wasn't thinking, Foden's going to change this game.
No, it's hard. It's hard. Don't just put Foden off the fire line for right now.
100% and 100%. And like I said, do you know what? Grealish this season, however limited minutes he's got, when Grealish has been called on, he's come on or he started games and he's put a shift in. I would rather bring on Grealish than Foden, honestly, because.
Oh yeah, I got one point. Yeah, when FA Cup final, yeah, when Nico O'Reilly and then Doku on the left wing, yeah, Nico O'Reilly is not that chemistry with Jeremy Doku.
No,
he's not that stable. When you play Grealish, where you got the steady left wing, Nico O'Reilly can do his stuff.
Yeah.
Do you see that point? When you saw
I always have seen it. It's very interesting with do you know what? I've actually seen Doku. Who's the ref? Someone was asking who's the ref. No, the whole Doku thing, it confuses the hell out of me because I'm a Doku fan. I think Doku is a good player. I think Doku, we've seen flashes. I think Doku this season has been one of our better players, right?
Yeah.
I think Doku, for me personally, I know some people disagree with me on this. I think Doku's been better than Savio this season. But there does seem to be a thing with Doku and linking up with other players, right? It does seem to be a thing. Now, that's why I think Doku on the right with Nunez, and let's see how that works. But, right, let's move on. Let's talk about transfer targets quickly. Kerkez. Actually, no, we'll start with Wirtz. How's everyone, right? Anyone here believe the club that we pulled out Wirtz?
I expect him to go to Germany too.
I don't
wants to
think
play for Bayern. Every German, like Sane, you know what I mean? Every German wants to go into the national team. You need to play for the Bundesliga team. For me, this is the rule.
Well, I'm like 50-50 with this. I don't believe they didn't know the package or they weren't willing to give the package. I just think that Wirtz is not going to give an answer anytime soon. And I don't think we can wait around.
Right. That's a fair point.
A lot of people are like, why can't we wait around for Wirtz? Well, if you're
Bellingham,
talking about 300 million
Rice.
package, we
You know
need
what
to know
happening
that
on there?
now than later. If we're going to do that with our transfer targets, with the Club World Cup, we don't. A lot of people have complained about the Jude Bellinghams of the world. A lot of people have complained about us not
Right.
going to Rice sooner because of that.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say we wait around too long and not have other targets lined up. So I'm kind of 50-50 torn with it. Like, I get it on both sides. Like, he's a hell of a talent, but at the same time, the club they have a lot of business to do this summer.
So you're thinking that you're thinking that this might be a case. I think Fabrizio tweeted something like that City wanted an answer now. They don't want to wait. I get it. I do get it. I think probably City want to get some transfers over the line, but sometimes, what's the saying? Good things come to those who wait. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's part of. I just don't believe that they did not realize how expensive Wirtz was going to be. Right? We know
This PR thing, you know what I mean? Just
that's PR.
just
I'm
accept
sorry.
the fate they reject. You know what I mean? I don't mind they reject. Just don't say like, oh,
Maybe
it's
got
expensive.
rejected.
You know what I mean?
And do you
Yeah,
know what?
is it?
That is the key. With Wirtz, we all know that Wirtz, the favourite club to get Wirtz from the beginning has been Bayern Munich, right?
Yeah, he wanted to play with his friend Musiala.
He wants to play. His family wants to stay in the country. He's German. Make Germany great again, I guess you could say. So have Bayern and German players playing for Bayern and Germany, all of that stuff. I just think, there's no shame in admitting it. But now, I do think we're going to get Reinders. I think we'll get Reinders over the line. What about Morgan Gibbs-White, you lot?
Engine. At least have legs. Not a bad player, but it just the reaction on the fan base is just like, oh, you dropping off the quality or something like. No, he's not a bad player. He helped Nottingham Forest to the top 6.
Yeah,
technically, it's on him. You can't.
He's a good.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's a good player, but not series quality.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I've always been thinking this way. I think we're going to get 3 midfielders. That's just my thought process. So I wouldn't I see more Gibbs-White as maybe a rotation player, or if he earns more minutes, I'm fine with that. But you do need, in this day and age of football, a combative midfielder. All your midfielders can't be tech.
I think we're missing it. I think it's a valid point because we are missing it, to be fair.
I mean,
okay.
also,
Now now the thing is, now Nottingham Forest knows that we are desperate and they gonna get a hell out of us, right? Right. So if we are going to pay that much amount of money for Morgan Gibbs-White, then is it worth for that much amount of money to play as a sub player?
That is exactly where I am. That's exactly how I view it. That I agree. We do need, this season in particular, we're not physical enough, right? So we do need someone that's physical. We do need an engine, right? He has got a pass on him. Look, he's not Kevin De Bruyne, nowhere near Kevin De Bruyne level, not remotely close to Kevin De Bruyne levels. Does. My issue is 100 million. And now that they know, they know that we're fucking not in for Wirtz. That's my worry is, and I agree with you, as a squad player, I'm really not mad at Morgan Gibbs-White as a squad player. I just think 100 million is mental. Absolutely mental.
I mean, it's
I don't think it's going to be 100 million, guys, because if they don't get UCL, I think they're going to be close to PSR with how much investment the owner has put in for this campaign. So I don't think it's going to be 100 million. I think if they don't get, this is also dependent if we get UCL.
That's maybe why we haven't.
Morgan Gibbs-White will probably push for that move too.
I think that's probably why City and Forest aren't even negotiating at this point, because it is very, City probably know, well, what you're going to ask for is going to depend on if you get Champions League football or not. And Forest are definitely thinking, yeah, and we ain't going to tell you what we want until we know if we've got Champions League football or not. So ultimately, there's no negotiation to be done at this point. But I can't lie. It's just the amount of money, and even anyone that goes back to watching this channel probably 4 or 5 weeks ago when we were first linked with him, I was very much. We have to understand English quota is a thing, English tax is a thing, but it's just when it's getting to the point of the amount of money, you think, fucking hell, man.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
It's just frustrating.
It's not a coincidence that a certain cheeky Begiristain during the Forest game was in the East Midlands.
Yeah.
And it's not a coincidence, mate, that Gibbs White is more in Manchester these days than in Nottingham.
No. We know he's coming. We know he's coming.
This is why that's
the other name. The other name.
I think it's already done.
You think?
I think it's already done. I think, yeah, it's already done. Because you know what, yeah, and I've been thinking about this for a long time. Gibbs White, yeah, he probably knows with the age that he has, he's probably not going to get another top move going for the next 2 years. So he's thinking to himself, all right, I've done everything for Nottingham Forest, yeah? He probably knocked on Marinakis' door and said, listen, last season here, I gave you everything you wanted. I achieved all the add-ons, all the transfer fees that you've put in. I got you back to the top. I want to move now, yeah? Any offer comes in, I'm taking it. And I think what happened is, I think City reps touched him with his camp because his camp is CA seller. But that's the business where the agency's at. And I think when he tapped in, that's when I think that he understood Pep wanted him because Pep wanted him for about 2 years now, probably even longer. Because don't ask me how, but I knew he tried to get him one of that Wolves. And when the Wolves offered a big package, he said, no way, we're moving on. And that's why I think we went for Trevor and Torres at the time. So, but we waited for him to develop at Nottingham Forest. He got back to Nottingham Forest at the top. And then that's why I think Pep thought, okay, time to the barn on Gibbs White. Now, whether he's a squad player or starting 11, I don't know. But he's definitely not going to be 100 million. If they do ask for something like 80 million or 100 million, they'll walk away. They will walk away.
I think City would walk away for it. I think, right, so he's got 2 years left on his contract in June, right? So yeah. I think there's probably some truth that that he's probably let the club know that look, I ain't signing a new contract. So at this point, with 2 years left on my contract, you'll be able to get good money for me. If you don't sell me this summer, then I'm not signing a new contract. And next summer, you're going to be offered far, far less. So I think you're probably right. And it probably is a bit like Grealish. But do you know what? And I'll be honest with you. If we pay 65 million for him, I won't be mad.
I agree.
65 million, I think.
Hey, remember we have City test as well. We got to be overpaid it every time, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's once it starts getting to around the 75 million, I just think, I don't know if he's a 75 million player. And people speaking about Livramento, listen, I think we'd all love Livramento.
Nah, Livramento won't leave.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
No.
It's not happening.
No.
So
you get Livramento. So get him.
Newcastle secured Champions League, I think.
Yeah. What about? Yeah, I think so as well. They've got Everton at home, right?
Yeah, and Everton backline is all injured, by the way.
Oh,
yeah. Whole backline.
Oh wow.
Hospital backline.
Yeah, right. So there we go. Perfect. Newcastle got one place. What about Kerkez?
No.
Thoughts on Kerkez?
No.
He's Liverpool bound.
No.
Liverpool worked hard for a whole month to do in this one. So I don't think he will. He will do it.
I think they took the piss. You know, I think they knew Liverpool probably put the PR about words, just unsettle City. So I think that's what City's done. They said, you know what, we're going to piss off Liverpool now.
It does feel that way, doesn't it? It really does feel that way. I can't lie. When I saw it this morning, I thought, nah, come on, let's not get involved in this fucking child's play. Yeah. Because
do you know what left back I won? What left back I won? Al Nouri, the Wolves left back.
Yeah.
I want that guy.
Al Nouri. Me and LB were just saying, I think he suits us as well. Well, not suits us. I think he would be good for us. I think he'd be a bit of a breath of fresh air for us, to be honest with you. So are we all saying Kerkez, we just don't think it's happening?
Yeah.
He's on the list, but he's not happening. I think Ainori is more likely in that aspect. Because Ainori, what is there to improve? Except for intelligence,
Yeah.
positional play, etc. There's not really much you can improve on the ball because he's already that good. It's just fitting him into that wing back system on the left. That's about it. And obviously getting the field of the line, which is up to them. But yeah.
I agree with you on this, by the way. I can't lie to you. I said this earlier on Never a Foul. Liverpool currently, they've won the league. They're the best team this season, right? They've managed to keep Salah. They've managed to keep Van Dijk. If they then go and, Trent's going, Robertson's dropped off. If they go and get Frimpong, Kerkez, and I can't lie, the way they're doing their business early as well. I am, for the first time, honestly, I'm saying I'm a little bit worried about Liverpool, There seems,
I mean, a lot of
to be
people are
serious.
spending money. So
But look at Madrid. They do free signings, bro. Madrid.
Yeah, I just think that for the first time in a while, we're still waiting for the last 2 weeks of the season. I mean, last week of the season to see where we are. So that's why maybe the transfer news isn't like Liverpool where they're getting things done. Is that because we have other priorities first? I think as soon as the season ends, you'll see us ramp up very quickly. You'll see us get people over the line very quickly. I just think the club is more focused about these next 2 games and getting over the line.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
They probably got deals done behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they stay on quiet.
Right, well, anything else any of you guys want to talk on?
Wesley?
Yeah. Are you guys comfortable with that?
I don't have any data on him. I need you guys. Do you have data on him? I don't have any data on Wesley guy.
On Twitter, this is called Sky Blue Times. He does a lot of analytical stuff on players that we're linked to. So if you ever just want to check out some data, I would just recommend that
40
handle.
40 to 45 million euros.
Yeah, 40 45 million euros. I mean, from what just videos I've seen on him, he's a pacey player.
Mm-hmm.
He can go up and down very, very well. He does that at Flamengo.
Walker 2.0.
Would I say he's the best? Would I say he's the best crosser? Maybe not. But I think the other stuff he gives you, you'll be okay with it.
Man, imagine Wesley and Kusanov on the back line, pacey back line, then we play high line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we do need pace. We do need pace in the back line.
Yeah, we need the pace.
Ed, what is his height? Just asking.
I can tell you. Just give me 1 sec. I can tell you right now.
Yeah, because if he's about 6'1", we could be good aerially too, or maybe improve an aspect with Kusanov at the back.
On this one, so someone's saying Daps is a chase for Costa dead in the water, and is Pep happy with his goalkeeper options? Nah, bro, our goalkeepers. I mean, Edison's going. I'm pretty certain, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ortega leaves as well. So I would imagine
5'9", like 5'9", 5'10". Yeah.
Say that again.
Well, then he's a speedboat then.
Like 5'9". He's around there 5'9", 5'10" on a good day. So yeah, he's. I'm telling you, he's a pick, and I think I'll keep on saying this with this modern football, pace is key.
True.
Pace is key.
Yeah, facts. Listen, whatever, I see a few people in the comments saying, so he's like Kyle Walker regen. Listen, if we can get a Kyle Walker regen, I'm all for it, right? However much Kyle Walker this season, maybe last season, you might talk a bit down on Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker has been one of the best Premier League right backs in Premier League history. So if we get anything like Kyle Walker, prime Kyle Walker, yeah, I'm all over that. I'm all over that. Will Carson say? Do you know what? I do think this could be a summer that we actually see Carson, Edison, and Ortega all leave the club.
Yeah, there's no decision on Carson till now. Don't know, like 1 year contract. They
Oh,
still
we
don't have
can't-
decision on that.
With Edison leaving, surely Carson can't stay another season.
Yeah, that's why we need it. You know, the homegrown. One more
Oh,
left.
true. Very true. Very true. Very true. Right. Well, listen, we've got a massive game tonight. Appreciate all of you lot coming on. Appreciate HSK with the massive super chat. You guys, I'm gonna be doing these call-in shows every now and again, so I appreciate you all jumping in. Boy, I'm not going to be speaking now till after the game. So today is D-Day.
Man,
Score
I'm
prediction?
nervous.
Score
I'm
prediction.
nervous.
They're going to win.
What's your
Well,
score
We are
prediction?
fucking win. We are winning
You
this,
lot
winning,
pick
winning
away,
this
I
match.
ain't doing
No,
mine.
I'm going to the stadium as well. I'm a little bit nervous, you know what I mean, though.
Lucky you. I wish
We
I was
are-
going. But I can't.
We are winning this match. I'm telling
Yeah?
you.
Yeah, we
I'm
need
gonna go
to.
2-1. I'm gonna go 2-1.
Yeah,
3-1.
2-1 closely 2-1.
Dash, you look so unconfident.
Listen,
3-1.
yeah. If we win, we win. Yeah. If we don't, we don't. I've always said this a long time ago. Yeah. If we don't make Champions League football, we deserve it. Yeah, because we've been shit this season.
Yeah.
And if we win, yeah. Listen, if we win, I'm happy. If we lose, I'm back on the PlayStation. Yeah, playing some fucking Cypher 84. Yeah. Literally, I've not played any games on my console for about a year and a half. When City won shit, I thought, you know what? Here's my coping mechanism. Yeah, I'm gonna space off now.
Oh yeah, that's
I
an
haven't done that
interesting
for years.
question. Yeah, if you're starting Rodri, you wanna have Europa League, but you save Rodri ACL, or you just start Rodri. You know what I mean?
There is an interesting. It's an interesting one. Yeah, Rodri.
There's
Yeah,
interesting
Rodri is
one.
coming back.
You want to save
Rodri is coming
Rodri?
back.
You want to save
Rodri is
Rodri,
coming
but
back.
you Europa League. You know, that's an interesting one.
I need go and stoplights here.
Yeah, that's true.
Harsh, go.
Rodri is coming from a lengthy injury period, so it's interesting to see how he will cope up. Can we see Rodri that the very injured before? Then I think we think it's a good sign for us. But let's see, Rodri's it's a big injury. I
Yeah,
really want to see him.
Yeah,
I don't
think
think he should be starting tonight, man. He really shouldn't be. Really, really shouldn't be. By the way, I am gonna say I do think we win tonight. I've got faith that we do win tonight. However fucking nervous I am, I do think we win tonight. And I promise you, listen, if we draw tonight, there will be no. We can still do it for me. The towel is. If we
you
get a
need
draw
to win
tonight,
that Fulham. If
Well,
you draw
Fulham's gonna be
tonight,
in the beach though, Daps. They have nothing to play for, so a draw isn't the worst outcome. We just can't lose.
nah, I'm
We
not
just
doing
can't
that.
lose.
I'm not doing
nah,
that.
you can't leave stress on Fulham.
I'm not doing
No,
that.
no. As long as it's still in our hands, though, guys, it'll still be in our hands if we draw.
Listen, I don't mind being in a title race, looking over my shoulder, knowing we have to win a game, right? I'm not going into the last game of the season away from home, looking over my shoulder, knowing we must win, just to have a better season than Man United. I can't do it.
Oh, freaking hell! Imagine we go to Europa League and then he goes to Champions League. The shameless thing.
Whoa.
Listen, don't get me wrong. If we have Europa League football, I look forward to going to some different places next season. I do. But I'm just going to end the season so damn depressed. But anyway, listen, thanks to everyone. Please smash a like on the way out. And we will be back tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. Peace.
BOURNEMOUTH